The truth has finally come out from Ewan McGregor's mouth himself, who talked about the prequels, who talked about actually filming the prequels and how horrible it was at the time, but more specifically, the connection he made between the prequels and now the Obi-Wan series. He talked about it all, guys, and we're going to reveal everything on this video. I can't believe this is actually coming to the surface. It's something that it's been brewing, I think. A lot of the Star Wars community has noticed things coming out slowly, but this is just a bombshell. Recently, in the Empire podcast, Ewan McGregor sat down to talk about a lot of things. His most recent documentary series that is called Long Way Up. He has a motorcycle adventure series that he goes through the globe, journeying as a motorcyclist and his passion about it. Now he's coming to the United States, and this is the main reason why the Empire podcast got him on to talk about not only that series, but of course, it's Ewan McGregor. We're gonna ask about Obi-Wan Kenobi sooner or later, and that's exactly what they did. Keep in mind that Disney is clamoring for more publicity, especially next month, because The Mandalorian Season 2 is not that far off. We're waiting for it to come out on Disney Plus. Those of you who don't got Disney Plus, I feel for you. I seriously do. But at least we will get to enjoy the trailers soon enough if they ever come. I mean, I'm waiting. I want to make an explanation video on them. But whatever the case, we got more publicity about the Obi-Wan show. As most of you know, that series will take place after Episode 3, after Order 66, and after the Empire destroyed the Jedi Order. Now Obi-Wan is on exile on Tatooine, and while we thought that Obi-Wan did not move an inch as he was protecting Luke, it looks like that wasn't quite the case, as our older trolling master did get into some trouble, which those episodes will gladly show us. The thing I was really impressed with is how he not only talked about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that will get a name eventually, I guess, but the prequels as well. During the peak hate of the prequels and how he felt. So beyond Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Ewan McGregor spoke of the excitement about finally returning to the role of Obi-Wan in the near future in a series that he says it was a long time coming. So this shows us that he truly missed playing Obi-Wan, as Obi-Wan was a very free character in and of itself. He was a Jedi Master and he had the responsibility of training and taking care of Anakin Skywalker, but Ewan McGregor gave him life. I feel like we never got that with Mace Windu, for example. We know Samuel L. Jackson is a very free actor and he has the free reins in other movies to do whatever he wants. He never really developed that kinship with Mace Windu. I feel like, at least, the actor and the character did not go quite hand in hand, although don't get me wrong, I would love to see Mace Windu be back again. But Ewan McGregor was a different breed. He really got Obi-Wan Kenobi. He really knew how to bring everything out of him. The jokes, the sarcastic nature, and even the seriousness. Everything was played right at the hands of the character who was, of course, beloved even in the prequels. It was, if you ask a lot of people, the shining hope of the prequels, who hated the prequels because of Jar Jar and the plot and a lot of other things. Ewan McGregor always stood out, as well as Qui-Gon Jinn. A lot of these characters were the shining hope in between a lot of darkness. And Ewan actually talked about Revenge of the Sith. He said, I'm more excited about doing the Obi-Wan series more than I was doing the second episode and the third episode that we did before, talking about Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith back in 2002 and 2005. He also added that he's excited about working with Deborah Chow, the director who also directed episodes for The Mandalorian, and the storylines are going to be really good, I think. I'm just excited to play him again. It's been a long time since I played him before. Again, you can see the excitement in his voice, and Ewan McGregor is not the only one who is waiting to play this character. We can't wait to see him play this character as well, as Obi-Wan is truly missed in today's Star Wars. But while he's talking fondly about a lot of these things, he was very well aware about the increasing hate in the Star Wars fan community about Episode 1, 2, and 3, and he actually talked about this. This is the maddening part that nobody has really talked about until now. Ewan McGregor said, you know, our films weren't much liked when they came out. By my generation, talking about the older fans, who loved the first ones, meaning the original trilogy. I think people of our generation wanted to feel the way they'd felt when they saw those first 3 movies when they were kids, but George Lucas wanted to take the prequels in a very different direction. He had a different idea. It was tricky at the time, I remember. But now, all these years later, I'm really aware of what our films meant to the generation they were made for, the children of that time. They really liked them. I've met people who they mean a lot to them. Those films, the prequels he means, more so than the original 3. And I'm like, are you kidding? What I gather from this is that not only is Ewan McGregor very keenly aware of the Star Wars fan community and how they feel, but he has been part of the evolution of it all throughout these years, throughout the decades. He knew of the hate that went out during those times, during the prequels, and how it changed during the years. I remember myself, and I know exactly what Ewan is talking about, and I know a lot of you guys do too. There's a lot of younger fans that right now comment on my videos that I see they don't understand what's to hate about the prequels. They just didn't live through those hating times, but I did. I know when people hated the prequels and why, and the reasons why they hated the prequels, but I could guess that a lot of us now have really mellowed down. We really enjoy those movies. Me personally, and a lot of my generation, will swear by the original trilogy first, and then could watch the prequels as well without tearing my hair off. Now, as we've noted previously about Ewan McGregor, he talked about the technology as well, and the difference between the prequels and The Mandalorian, how they filmed it, and how he is eager to work with Deborah Chow, who worked on The Mandalorian, because of the technology. He talked about the innovative high-resolution video wall technology, that's how he called it, that was used in The Mandalorian, talking about the projection screens, of course, powered by the Unreal Engine. The first 3 Star Wars movies, Ewan said, I did were really at the very beginning of digital photography. We had a camera with an umbilical cord to a tent. It was like back to the beginning of the movies where the camera didn't move very much because there was so much hardware attached to it. Now we're going to be able to really create stuff without swaths of green screen and blue screen, which becomes very tedious for the actor. Now, this is just a portion or highlights of that interview. Of course, the Empire podcast is an hour or more in full, so if you guys are interested, you can go check it out at their website. But as I've talked about the highlights here, you can clearly see how Ewan McGregor wants to take back Star Wars from the hateful nature that it was during the prequels, and now he wants to make the elements of those prequels, which was the Obi-Wan character, and make it into a grand one with this new technology and with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. He recognizes that the prequels were not the greatest at first. Now they are a very important element to Star Wars. And as much as other actors are aware of this as well, such as Hayden Christensen, for example, who played Anakin, Ewan McGregor is at the top of the line. He understands what needs to be done next. This is what I really am excited for, because since Ewan McGregor knows this and is aware of the Star Wars community, he will know how to handle Obi-Wan again after 15 years. He will know how to pick up where he left off in 2005 and know how to drive Obi-Wan to an even bigger iconic success. If you are in tune with the Star Wars fan community, I truly believe nothing can go wrong. If you pick the middle and don't go to the right or to the left, there are genius elements there that I think will work for not only Obi-Wan, but for the entirety of the Star Wars saga and franchise. And what can I say, really? I can't wait for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and I hope it gets done really soon, and I hope we get to see it at least by 2021, but I very much doubt it. The reports, I think, concluded that it would be done by 2022. Whenever it is, I want to know what do you guys think as well. Talk to me down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.